I try to follow and copy what wealthy people are doing, and wealthy people run funds, and the IRS has incentivized us to run funds. If I can lower the amount of risk and I can keep my return or maybe even increase my return, I can drive alpha in a business. You can lean into these categories. Number 1, asset class. Number 2, strategy. Number 3, team. Number 4, structure. This is what's created some of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. So I grew up in South Salt Lake City, Utah, in a great spot. Actually, we talk about this a lot, me and my wife. We grew up on the same street together, me and my wife, so 7 doors down. So I have 2 great parents, phenomenal parents, and 2 older brothers. So I'm the youngest of 3 brothers. So we lived in a rowdy, rough and tough kind of household. A lot of wrestling, a lot of football, a lot of basketball, a lot of sports. I was student body president at my high school. I loved sports and being involved and just throwing events and other fun stuff all throughout middle school and high school when I was in that age group. So yeah, both my brothers are phenomenal. So my oldest brother, incredible person. He has 4 kids right now. He's an investment funds attorney, incredible dude. The middle brother, who's 6 years older than me, he actually passed away about 12 years ago while I was in high school. He was an incredible brother. In high school, actually, he was sophomore class president for our class, junior class president, and then student body president where he was at for a 3,000 person high school. I mean, a huge high school. When he got out of high school, he got chronic headaches and not like chronic headaches. It was one headache, never went away for about 4 years. And we went to about, I think, 21 doctors around the world trying to figure out what was going on, and different types of doctors, CAT scans, blood doctors, Eastern medicine, Western medicine. I mean, everything you can imagine. And we couldn't figure out anything. And eventually we kept trying stuff, but eventually my brother took his own life. So that was 3 days before my 16th birthday that he took his own life. And it was, quite a tragedy in our family. And I think taught me, anyways, we can dive into all different lessons from there, but it was a hard time for our family. And instead of having me go off the negative side, I'm going to take it to the positive. And I'm going to say, this is what's going to drive me to be successful and be good in life. And so being an entrepreneur, which we're talking about starting your first fund or even a first business, you have to be extremely optimistic. You have to look at something where most people would tell you you're dumb, you're an idiot. A realist would tell you not. And you have to be unreasonably optimistic about something working out. And that optimism, I believe, looking at a bunch of studies, there's a great book called The Happiness Advantage that I just read, a Harvard study they did on teams that were happier and more optimistic tended to outperform other teams. Even if the optimism was a little bit unreal, if it was a little bit outside the box, those teams still tended to do and perform better than teams that were pessimistic or just neutral. And so I think in entrepreneurship, when you're building teams, when you're developing, when you're growing something, optimism from a leader's perspective is key when driving employees to join your team, and driving growth down the board, I think, is massive, especially at the startup phase. Yeah, with that fundamental experience, I believe yes. I think I still would have been in business. I was very entrepreneurial from a young age. I was starting businesses. I was selling candy. I went door to door. We were selling signs. We were selling a landscaping business I did in high school. I mean, I tried all sorts of ways to make money throughout my junior high and high school experience. And then in college, I continued that on. My dad was a great entrepreneur, and I looked up to him. I wanted to follow him. And there really, to me, only seemed like one route in life, which was to go into business. And if you're going to go into business, you might as well just start your own. That, for whatever reason, that was painted to me at a young age, like this is the best path in life. When I was younger, trying to make money at a young age, we had a neighborhood, whole neighborhood yard sale that was going on. We went out and sold candy bars, soda pop. We'd overprice things on purpose and sell them to rich people. If you're going to go mow someone's lawn, go find the richest neighborhoods and mow their lawns. And there's a chance they're going to overpay you just because they want to pay you a little bit more. They're not going to be as stringy. And actually it worked brilliantly. So we were mowing lawns, and I was mowing like in normal neighborhoods. And I was like, screw this. Let's go to the nice neighborhoods. And we set up signs. We were pretty, we'd put up these big posters in neighborhoods, and we'd use like big fancy words, like, to sell the landscaping. Instead of just saying like, hey, landscaping, call this number. We'd be like, superb, above average, local Utah boys landscaping, like direct to home. Like, we just try to drum up the copy on these signs and appeal to this wealthier audience. And it did actually extremely well. Another thing we did to raise money was in high school. As student body president, we actually raised money for Make-A-Wish Foundation. So that was my first real experience, I think, raising money ever. I've never raised money before. I bootstrapped all businesses, but we had to go out. It was a goal. We did it once a year, a school fundraiser. And so we thought we're going to do one for Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish is a big national foundation. Everyone knows it. It's about $5,000 to give a child a wish. These are kids that are usually terminally ill. And so the idea of Make-A-Wish is we are going to pay for this dream vacation or dream something to happen for them. And it was about $5,000 per kid, which I think is pretty low to give them a dream. It depends on the dream, I guess. And so we went out and said, hey, how many kids could we sponsor? So we tried to make it very personal for the fundraiser. The previous year's fundraisers were around, they'd raise like $5,000, maybe $10,000. I think one of the years they did like $14,000. Our year we did $32,000 in about a 3-week span. So it crushed every record for our high school that had ever been done. We sponsored 6.5 kids. We brought one of the kids to the big assembly. We actually, to raise that money, we did a bunch of unique things. We rented out a movie theater. So we spent the money, rented out a full movie theater. The Hobbit was coming out. You know, like the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. That had just come into theaters. It was brand new. We rented out a full theater. And we sold tickets, but they were like triple the price. So we said, hey, come to the thing. It's tickets I know are $10 a ticket. We're going to sell them for $35 a ticket. And the money's all going to go to Make-A-Wish Foundation to cover our basis. We rented out and sold the entire theater. I dressed up as a hobbit for a week. I had a little flute. I'd go through the halls and I'd play the Lord of the Rings song on my little flute thingy that I had. I learned it on YouTube. And we did like guerrilla marketing just to sell anything that would do this. And it took us about 3 or 4 weeks. We ended up breaking the school record at $32,000, which was pretty fun. People enjoy the process of like buying something. Buying can be very fun. And for example, there's a study that me and Mason and I love to share at our company, but JCPenney. So you know JCPenney for years was like the king of department stores, and they were always known for their discounts. So during the Apple era, when Apple came out, the iPhone, the Apple Store, JCPenney paid millions of dollars, hired away the top person at Apple to come do the same thing at JCPenney. And this person came in and revamped all of JCPenney, rebranded it, made these new stores. He said, there's no discounts. The price is what the price is. There's not this gimmicks. You know, JCPenney had the big sale and discount and blowout. They love doing stuff like that. And he said, we're not doing any of it. And the next following quarters, JCPenney lost over $4.5 billion from doing this stunt to try to be more like Apple. And what happened was they fired the guy, he went back somewhere else, and they rehired their old campaign, and JCPenney came back to life. And what they realized was people love the game of getting a deal and getting a sale, feeling like they're getting an offer. And so what we learned in high school with Make-A-Wish, instead of just saying, hey, do you want to donate to Make-A-Wish? Hey, we're going to the Hobbit. We rented out the whole place. We're all dressing up as Lord of the Rings characters. Do you guys want to buy tickets? They're 4 times the price or triple the price. They're going to be $35 or $40 a ticket. But all the money's going to Make-A-Wish, and you get to come to this fun event. We're going to be there. We're going to play music beforehand. We have a dance going on. Like, people said, oh, that's a fun offer. Like, I'm going to be in on that offer. Oh, and I get to help other people at the same time. And so we did a few things like that where they could donate, they could support different players, different teammates. We have tried to appeal to different offers that you could create, and it did extremely well. So today, now when we try to sell, whether it's an investment product, getting an investor, or getting someone to join anything we sell of any of our portfolio companies, how do we make that an offer, right? How do you make it something that's a little more juicier than just buy here?